One of 5th edition's best features is how many subclasses there are available to choose from. And a lot of these subclasses are really weird. So I found the weirdest and I power ranked them. Starting with number 10, the Echo Knight. Now this one's kind of ironic because this is the subclass that made me actually want to make this video. But after doing some research, the Echo Knight really isn't that weird, especially compared to some of the subclasses coming later on. They're capable of creating a clone of themselves that kind of does everything that they do. And out of all the abilities that this class gets, the weirdest one's probably going to be Reclaim Potential at level 15. Not that you're ever going to get to use it because you're never going to get to level 15 before your campaign falls apart. If you do though, Reclaim Potential lets you absorb the spirit of your Echo clone, which heals you for 2d6 plus your con modifier. The 9th weirdest subclass in 5th edition is going to be the Ranger's Horizon Walker. The reason the Horizon Walker is so low on this list is that it doesn't really do anything that weird when it comes to its abilities. Probably the weirdest thing it has is Ethereal Step, which pretty much just lets them teleport to the ethereal plane for a limited amount of time where they can walk around, and it's kind of like a phase shift. You can use it to scout because nothing can really touch you in the ethereal plane, and it can also be used as a teleport because when the spell ends, you appear magically where you had traveled to. Now the 8th weirdest subclass on this list is the Twilight Domain Cleric. The Twilight Domain Cleric's shtick is kind of weird and all about limited light and extending dark vision. Kind of weird, kind of shitty, but apparently people say it's OP, I don't really know. I would say their weirdest ability is Steps of Night, which lets them rise up into the night sky or the twilight sky, and they can fly around. Later on, they also get Twilight Sanctuary, which provides this giant like twilight sphere that can heal you and protect your allies. Number 7 on this list is the Soul Knife. Now this is kind of like a weird psionic assassin. Essentially, they're able to conjure psionic knives that can deal damage for them. This manifests itself in game with a bunch of really weird and kind of cool mechanics. When you hit level 3 and you choose this subclass, you get Psionic Energy Die, which basically power all of your Soul Knife abilities. These abilities include telepathy, psychic blades, and invisibility. And all of these psychic abilities culminate at level 17 when the Soul Knife unlocks Rend Mind, which basically just allows you to stun one creature every long rest when you attack it from sneak attack, which really isn't that great, but ultimately it doesn't matter because your campaign is never going to last long enough for you to get to level 17. Number 6 on this list is the School of Graviturgy Magic for the Wizard. Now this subclass starts off innocent enough. They're able to modify the weights of creatures and objects that are around them. But the subclass really upgrades at level 10 when they unlock Violent Attraction. This lets Graviturgy mages increase the velocity of a successful attack. So if you're in a party and your paladin swings on an enemy using Divine Smite and it's going to deal, 1d4 or something like that, you can increase the velocity of your paladin's arm as it swings, which makes it do more damage. Furthermore, if maybe an enemy gets pushed off of like a small cliff, you can increase the force of gravity to deal even more damage to him. It's super fucking cool. But their abilities culminate at level 14 when they unlock Event Horizon. This lets Graviturgy mages emit a gravity field that makes all hostile foes have to do a strength saving throw, and if they fail, they take a bunch of force damage and they can't really move. Now the 5th weirdest subclass in 5th edition is the College of Glamour Bard.
College of Glamour Bard? My day, you had to level as a fighter, then a druid, then a rogue just to become a bard.
Yeah, thank you for that, Andrew. This subclass really stuck out to me because the entire shtick of the College of Glamour is making yourself so incredibly hot that you can tell other people what to do. Some of the mechanical manifestations of becoming a fantasy OnlyFans model include the Mantle of Inspiration, which gives a certain number of creatures around you 5 extra hit points just because you're so fucking hot. At level 6, they unlock Mantle of Majesty, which basically lets them tell anyone around them what to do because they are able to manifest themselves into such a beautiful form. Mechanically, this lets them use command as a free bonus action for 10 turns. Now, the 4th weirdest subclass in 5th edition is the School of Chronergy Magic for the Wizard. I think I pronounced that right. Now, Chronergy mages might be the most OP of all of the subclasses in this list. At level 3, they're able to manipulate time so that they force a creature to re-roll an attack roll, saving throw, or ability check. And no matter what happens, that creature has to take the second roll. And to add to the OPness, The Chronergy Mage gets to decide this after they find out if the original roll fails or succeeds. But this tomfuckery comes to a climax at level 14, where the Chronergy Mage unlocks the ability to determine whether or not a roll succeeds or fails, no matter what. Any creature making a roll within 60 feet, the Chronergy Mage can say, yeah, no, you're gonna succeed that. I don't care if you rolled a 3, I'm making the DC on this a 2. Now, the third weirdest subclass in 5th edition has to be the Swarm Keeper, available to Rangers. Now, this kind of does what it says on the tin, but I just have to further elaborate of how crazy this subclass is. At level 3, you get the ability to summon a swarm of bugs, or twig blights, or small birds, or pixies. And this swarm does your bidding for you. They can do extra damage for you. You can use them as a mage hand. And at level 7, you can literally fly around on your swarm. You can have a massive swarm of mosquitoes under your feet, letting you fly around, shooting your bow. It is absolutely fantastic. Not as fantastic and weird as number 2 on this list, which is the Aberrant Mind Sorcerer. Now, mechanically speaking, this is like the sorcerer's equivalent to the Soul Knife, but it gets a lot weirder, because unlike the Soul Knife, where you're born with these psychic powers, the reason you have these powers as a sorcerer is because an alien wrapped its tendrils around your brain. There's a couple other origins to it, but that's kind of the general gist of all of them. This manifests itself at level 14 when you unlock the ability to transform your body for 10 minutes. When you're transformed, you can fly, you can swim really fast, or you can become really, really weird and slimy. But this subclass really culminates with the ability Warping Implosion, which lets you teleport anywhere within 120 feet and makes every single creature within 30 feet of your original spot make a strength saving throw. And if they fail, they have to take 3d10 force damage and they're yoinked to the space that you just left. But that's not nearly as weird as number 1 on this list, the Clockwork Soul. Yeah, this one's really weird. It's kind of about machines. It's kind of about engineering, but really it's all about order. Mechanically speaking, most of the abilities you get from taking this subclass just cancel the effects of advantage or disadvantage. Like, there's this move called Trance of Order, which lets you align your consciousness with the endless calculations of the mechanist. In other words, it lets you negate any advantage on attack rolls against you, and if you roll under a 10, it lets you treat it like a 10. Where this subclass really comes into its weirdness is when you hit level 18. Now, I know this is going to take you like 5 years if you ever get here, but trust me, the payoff is kind of worth it. You'll get this ability called Clockwork Cavalcade, which allows you to expunge a bunch of spirits of order all around you, and these spirits do a bunch of various things. They can restore up to 100 health points, they can repair any damaged object within the vicinity, and they also end 6th level spells on any creature or object within the queue. Now, I'm not 100% sure what that means, but that's what it does.
This list fucking sucks. Does this guy even play 5e?
I actually don't. I made this list. I don't even play 5e. But if you want to know some of the games that I do play, you should totally click right here. It'll recommend whatever is most appropriate for you. And if you think I'm totally wrong on this list, if I missed something that's weird, feel free to let me know. And thanks for watching.